that if you're going to survive, you're going to have to learn to navigate your life through obstacles, circumstances, disappointment, backbiting. People don't want to see you show up in order to eat.
Wow.
I'm motivated by the fact that I need to live. I'm motivated by the fact that I need to have peace. I'm motivated by the fact that I got to survive. My inspiration comes from God. Motivation comes from your drive. Nobody can give you a motivation. You're going to have it in. I would like to give one piece of advice. Whatever that skill set, whatever that desire and crave is, maximize that before you transition to something totally different from your lineage, okay?
Right.
You're going to be good at what you're going to be good at, and
Right.
it's going to multiply on you.
Right.
But the multiplication has to come with the discipline and staying still a little bit.
Good evening, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to another episode of A Word with Pastor Webb. I'm your host, Pastor Webb, and we have a very, very special guest tonight, Katrina Lunsford, the Vice President of Fifth Third Bank. Please help me to salute and celebrate my friend and sister. How you doing, my sister?
I am doing well in this COVID season.
Great, great, great. We're not going to prolong the time. What's your story?
Well, I was born and raised in Avon Park, Florida. My father was Fred Connor and my mother was Wilma Connor. My dad was actually the first African-American policeman in Highlands County.
Wow.
And he worked two jobs. He worked the police for a while, and I remember probably around 8 or 9 years old, I vividly remember my mom said, he's gonna retire and raise you all.
Wow.
And so she became a custodian at an elementary school there in Avon Park. She was responsible for us picking oranges, and I would say picking fruit,
Picking
okay?
fruit.
So on the weekends, sometimes after school, during the Christmas holiday, you can find, there's 4 of us, in the orange grove, picking oranges to add to the family income.
So you actually
Physically
picked oranges.
pick oranges, dump them in the bin, as we call it.
Right.
Go up a ladder with what we call a fruit sack, right?
Wow.
Come down, dump the oranges in the bin, and actually pick oranges, okay? And just to tell you this, even when I was in high school, I remember vividly I was inducted in the Honor Society, but I have a picture where I went to pick oranges that morning before I got inducted in the Honor Society. So my family, even though mother and father in the household, we as children, we came up working. If it wasn't picking oranges, then we would actually go to the pea field, all right?
Picking peas as well?
Pick peas, not just for the income, but to eat, okay? Because they would we have to shell them, and then they bagged them and eat. So my beginning was, I did not want to spend my life in nobody fruit grove picking oranges coming up.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
How much you got for each bin?
At that time, I believe it was $10 a bin or something, and now that's a lot. That was
lot of work.
That's a lot of work. Now I was always the one that was in the household complaining about how much money y'all gonna give us on the side for picking these oranges. But
wow.
My family, my mom and dad was very much. My dad was raised AME. My mom raised Pentecostal. So from the biblical standpoint, they raised us with some disciplines that we needed to have to make it. I mean, there was no such thing as, it was caring type of opportunity that we had that was raised with.
Right.
One, that we couldn't do everything that we wanted to do. They were strict, disciplined type people. So I have a real deep heritage in my family roots, both from my mother and father, and then my business side of me came from an aunt and uncle, which was Wilson. And then my spiritual aspect of me came from some pastors that my aunt and Uncle Brown. So I'm all mixed up in there with that family lineage.
Okay. Give me 3 words that best describe you as a person.
Faith, caring, servant.
Faith, caring, and serving. Been working in banking for a long time. How long have you worked in banking?
36 years. I've been in the banking industry, believe it or not. I know I look too young for that, but I've been in the banking industry for 36
years.
Yes.
My Jesus. So Barnett, Wachovia, did you go to Wachovia?
It was Barnett Bank, and then Nations Bank.
Nation Bank.
The Bank America bought out Barnett.
Okay.
And then I obtained a senior position at South Trust Bank. Okay. South Trust Bank was an Alabama-based bank that had moved to Florida.
Okay.
And that bank actually was bought out by Wachovia,
Okay.
which in turn turned to Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo. Okay. Perfect. So now you with Fifth Third
I'm
Bank.
with Fifth Third. I left
Okay.
Wells Fargo and been with Fifth Third Bank for probably about 7 or 8 years now.
Right. Now give me your complete title. Vice President of.
I'm Vice President of Business Banking Relationship Manager for Polk in East Hillsborough County right now.
Which means what?
That means I cover the corporate company sizes from probably around $2 million up to about $30–40 million in companies. Okay, the sales size of a company. However, in that banking position, I take care of people.
Perfect.
So it's not, you don't have to have $2 million or so for Katrina to talk to you. If you had a need, you could be smaller than that, and a lot of people are smaller than that. We get you where you need to go.
Perfect.
And if you're an individual, they need help, I'm also a conduit to get you where you need to go, because our banking opportunity is not just about the company, it's about the people side. So
Right.
it doesn't matter from that aspect.
All right. So is this a good time to refinance a house if a person wanted to refinance the house?
You know, it depends.
Okay.
Let me just explain this to you. A lot of times people think that, okay, refinancing a house for you, Pastor Webb, may be okay right now, depending on your rate, depending on your income and your terms.
Okay.
Okay, and depending on the cost to do it.
Right.
You may be with a bank who may have a promotion going and be no fees associated with it.
Right.
You may be able to go down 2% on your interest rate. Sure, do it. Now, and I say that because it depends on what are you trying to do. Are you trying to shorten your terms where you can more or less pay less and shorten the mortgage
Right.
length of time on it? Or
Okay.
you could be to a point where you need to refinance your house because you need to help your cash flow.
Okay.
And so I would say for that question, evaluate where you are from your cash flow standpoint and then decide, is it time?
Perfect. I know we're in the middle of a pandemic. What folks should be doing to budget in the midst of this pandemic?
3 areas of this. One, there are people who lost jobs.
Right.
And and basically you need to look for resources. Look for resources that are out there to help you. You may be in a position, in a situation where you never had to use some services before. I say get rid of the pride and basically go get the resources. Now, you may be the second group. The second group are the people who money's getting tighter. All of us know we go to the store, the cost is going up.
Right.
It's going up astronomical.
Right.
If you're getting safe services, it's costing you more. If you're buying grocery, it's costing you more. So you need to look at your budget, and I say budget, I use that term, but a lot of people don't sit down and do that, you know.
Right.
But look at where your cash is. Let me just say that and say, what can I save? What can I say? What can I do? And then there's a third group that have money, and this is a time that you receive even more money. Don't spend it, save, you're gonna need it later. All 3 groups need to remember that the times that we're in, they may not go away tomorrow and next week. So you need to think concerned of conserving and not consuming.
Right.
Look for ways to do a little less and hold on to a lot more.
Right. So budget right depends on the person.
Right.
So if I was trying to purchase an apartment to make money, I need to think it through.
Yeah, let me just put it this way. When do you want to buy? Now the market, let me just tell you about what's going on. There was a lot of money fueled into the market at the beginning of the pandemic with PPP loans, the CARES Act, all of that's out here. That's kind of going to be running low by December, right? It's on its way. You can see more people laying off people now.
Correct.
You can see that trend going.
Correct.
Meaning income going to be less. So when do you want to buy? Do you want to buy the height of the market, or do you want to buy when this thing come down?
Right.
People are still building. Our permitting is still I mean, that's behind with houses.
Right.
So I think you need to kind of look at the terms that you are when you want to do it. Let me just say this while I'm here. Don't buy somebody else's problem.
I love that.
Do not buy somebody else's problem. They trying to unload something, they're getting out of it. Do not go into it and buy somebody else's problem. Make sure you evaluate, is it sustainable of what you're getting into?
Perfect. What was the biggest turning point in your life?
The death of my husband.
Wow.
The death of my husband, October the 31st, 2014, was the biggest transitional point I had in my life, the biggest work inside, the biggest challenge I had with everything that I knew, that I believed, that I thought that I could do. It was time to, for one time in my life, I had to change everything about me as far as focusing in on me and letting things go to get me to a place where I can deal.
Deal with, okay. So what would you tell a person who have lost a loved one, be it mother, father, son, daughter, husband, wife?
This is a good season to talk about that. Number one is don't think, well, really, let me just tell you, don't believe half of the stuff that people told you about getting busy, that that there's better. You're gonna have to take time to get you some help, okay?
Right.
And that's something that we don't do well.
Right.
Okay, just to share with you.
Right.
I actually went to counseling because I knew then Thomas and I had always, my husband, we'd always talked about our people do not believe in counseling. They'll go get fix their bodies and all that, but they ain't gonna fix their mind and their head, right?
Right.
So I knew that I was gonna need some help. So I got support from a Christian counselor, professional. She led me to, that was unique because I'm like, how does this work?
Right.
She led me to a class, a grief share class. I went to that class. That class is offered nationwide. Now it's offered online, right? Nationwide in a lot of churches. And it's a 13-week course. It has homework to it, books. It has devotion. It has things you need to do, all right?
Right.
To get better.
Right.
I went to that class 3 times. I remember my mom at the time telling me, she said, Katrina, how long are you gonna go to that class? I said, I was married 24 years.
Amen.
How long it take. Also, you need to embrace your journey. That journey is something that nobody else have ever experienced. So it's a day-by-day walk. You can get consumed with grief.
Right.
But if you work with it and you work through it and you lean into part of that pain, okay, by doing things that you normally would do, you can have a healthier journey. What you're seeing is a person that had stopped doing some of that process, that worked on me, got help, and don't stop the people that's God sent people by that can help you.
Right.
So I found that during my process, even He'll send people by to encourage and do little things, accept it.
Right. So you reached out, you didn't isolate yourself.
No. Isolation will throw you into a deep depression. That is harder to come out than ever. You're gonna have days that you're gonna holler, you're gonna have days that you're gonna cry. Hey, that's a part of life. But the other side of that is that isolation will get you to a slippery slope of depression. So you need to think in terms of not doing that part of it.
Amen.
Fight to come out.
Right, I appreciate that. Now tell me about this redlining. What is redlining?
Redlining is a discriminative practices that financial institution, mortgage folks use to not lend in certain areas of the community, or it could be race-based. Okay? So it has been around for a long time where there are targeted areas that maybe some of the institution may not lend in, and they can, base it upon race or have some discriminative practices. That's what redlining is.
Right. So they, I guess I'm assuming they look at the zip code area.
Yeah, sometimes you'll find it zip code area if there's a redlining opportunity that's there, or it could come through the people side of it too. Not servicing, not going into certain community, offering the same type of services. Okay.
What about if they walk in the door?
Well, most people that are at that desk in the banking industry is paid to give you something.
Okay.
Now, if in their mind they've already come up with the conclusion that you're not going to be the person they're going to deal with, that could be a source of redlining. But you would find that by them not giving you information. You would find that by if there's something that's tested that you didn't get approved of, you kind of tested out that way and you
Right.
know it's right.
Right.
The way to combat some of that for ourselves
Right.
is to go in there prepared. Well, Katrina, how do I go in there prepared? I don't know what to do.
Right.
Well, if you're going in there for a home or something like that, you need to know your own scores. You need
Right.
to know,
Right.
and that stuff you can find out for yourself.
Right.
You need to know, can I pay for it?
Right.
Now that's a simple
Right.
simple
Right.
solution for
Right.
you.
Right.
This shouldn't be for me as a banker.
Right.
Can I pay for this? Well, if you know you have a lot of debt and you can't pay for it, then the answer is no, okay? And so those are things we can do for ourselves
Right.
to get ahead.
Right.
Then you really want to go to the place that embrace you. There's too many of them on the street.
Right.
The one that embrace you,
That's what you
with you doing your homework, do business with them.
Right. Perfect. Now, what are lenders looking for specifically when it comes to giving their money out?
Okay, 3 different areas. From a personal side of it, and that personal side drives your business. Credit score,
Right.
okay? Credit score, that's the first driver. Debt, your ability to pay.
Okay.
And then, what do you have to offer? What we call collateral. What do you have to offer for what you're getting?
Okay.
Okay.
And now explain collateral.
Collateral is you're sitting in a building or
Right.
you want a house.
Right.
The house would be the collateral. We're going to secure our loan with the house. Generally, folks don't come in the bank for cars to go to dealerships, but your vehicle would be one. Your business would be one. Like, for instance, if you have a business and you're selling something, your inventory, which we don't like to lend on a lot of times, or your receivables, those people that owe you, depending on what you're in,
Okay.
would be collateral.
Okay. Okay. All right. What do we do wrong in terms of asking for money? When I go into the bank, what is the biggest mistake we make as a black person?
Knowing what you're asking for.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
talking to the wrong people. All right.
people,
You
okay.
don't believe that. You can go into a bank. I have an example of that. Recently, had a cousin. She just trying to refinance some investment property. I did that property maybe 10 years ago.
Right.
Okay. It's not complicated. She go into the bank. The first thing they tell her, because she got investment property, well, you own your home. We'll secure it by your home. Like, no, we're not secure this by my home. I have this investment property. She's talking to the wrong person. What that person is trying to do is give her the easy solution that she can get done, right?
Right. Okay.
Well, she knows she's not going to do it. I say, okay, go talk to somebody more experienced, right?
Right, right.
She talked to somebody more experienced. They say, sure, we can look at a portion of your investment property and lend on that, right?
Okay.
So you would have got offended because that first person, you can say, well, they just trying to just do something to me because I'm black. No.
Right. Right.
Lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge.
Okay, so you're talking to somebody that might make sure they get paid
Right.
to give you a loan, right?
Right.
So they're not so interested sometimes in passing you on to the next person.
Okay.
So you need to know that if you're talking to somebody and they're actually giving you the wrong kind of information, that's a carrot. Your preparedness. Well, how do I become prepared? What do I know about being prepared?
Right.
It's simple, y'all. You need to do your own homework. If it makes sense for you and you've said the what if it
Right.
don't work for me? What if my income drop in half?
Right.
How can I pay that? You can go in the bank confident when you done paid your bills and get whatever money you want.
Right.
But not being prepared with those and knowing who you're talking to is the 2 things I see most affect us in what we're doing.
Right. Which is better, 30-year mortgage or 15-year mortgage?
If you can pay it 15 years,
15 years,
if you
yeah.
can't, go 30.
Go 30. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, if you can, it depends on your financial situation.
Okay.
Nowadays, if you're looking at a rate reduction and you already have your mortgage out there, then take advantage.
Take advantage.
Take advantage of that. Take advantage of that by reducing the interest rate, shorten the terms, so you own it a lot quicker.
Okay.
Okay?
Right. Katrina, you wear a lot of hats. What is the secret to your success?
Jesus.
Jesus.
Period.
Talk
I'm
about
going
it.
to tell you about it.
Talk about
it. Without God, I'm absolutely nothing.
Amen.
I say this because, and we talk about this sometimes, about compartmentalizing your life. Every good and perfect gift comes from Him. My
Amen.
finance gift. I mean, the fact that I went to school
Amen.
and
Amen.
got out of school, used the finance. It took me a while to learn this.
Right.
That's me.
Right.
The fact that I do community work, church, everything is in Him.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Because there's nothing that I have, no type of knowledge that I had the opportunity to get.
But
okay. but Jesus.
But Jesus.
And so people can look at you and they say, well, oh, that's sharp. I don't think you arrive until the end, right? And so with that, what drives me, every aspect of my life, from the beginning of my career to going to school, because I used to be out there before I had to get delivered early. And the early was before I went to college. I had to come on in because I was a risk taker. And so from college, getting the George C. Wallace segregationist scholarship and going to school on his money.
There it is.
To graduating, getting the job, to looking at him navigate me through all the discriminative practices that will go on with keeping my head, to grounding me, to correcting me, all right, to putting that pain in my character, to mold my character. It is all about that. And that honey, there's nothing without it. I'm just being honest.
But you'd be surprised. A lot of folks who have risen to the top forget about it was Jesus. Why? Why do you think?
Well, I don't know. Every time I thought I was going to go to the side, I get checked. Okay. What are you talking about, Lunsford? I get checked with some problems to steer me
back in the right
place.
Okay,
in the right place.
Right.
And sometimes people feel that at a point in their life that they've arrived somewhere.
Right.
I never felt like I arrived anywhere. I just think that there's more work to do, more things to help, more experience I have to share that with somebody to help them along the way, and that I'm afforded that opportunity to be dependent. And one thing that checked me real good, I'll be honest with you, the dependency, you heard me talk about it earlier, is that with the transition of my husband, I learned then that there was a whole nother level in dependency.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
Just for your mind's sake, I don't trust my mind. I'm an analytical girl, right?
Right.
And so with that, I used to just probe him. Tell me tell me, hurry up and tell me what God said, right?
Right.
Now it's like, you calm down.
Wait.
You listen more. You move a little slower. And yet and still, your dependency is nothing without him. So it doesn't matter whether I'm in the bank or I'm in the community, I'm at the church. All of that is depending on God.
Okay.
And Amen. I am so happy. Can I tell you this? I am so excited that my base for this came from my raising.
Amen.
It came from my spiritual base of I call my spiritual father and mother. He's gone on. That's the Browns that taught me. I came home from college and actually used to do their papers for their bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degree, not
Amen.
Knowing one day I was going to be anywhere like this.
Wow.
And so I would type it up, and you can imagine typewriter day, right? Y'all, I'm still young. Typewriter day. Typewriter day, where I would come home from college and type up their paper where I had to read them.
Right.
So in reading, you learn.
Right.
And so nothing without them. I'm passionate about that.
Wow. You want to shout right now?
I can if you give me a little music, because I ain't had none in a while.
Pentecostal background.
Yeah. I had none in a while, so I can go there for you.
Right. Now, what has been some challenges and obstacles you have faced as you climb the corporate ladder, knowing that banking, to my knowledge, my background banking, there was a white male industry for years.
Yeah, and it's pretty much, we speckle a little bit here and there. It was interesting.
Right.
All right. When I graduated from college, one of the first things I didn't know, I went to school for finance. I ended up in the commercial area first.
Right.
Managing the area, start working analytically in the area that would actually do I call it like the thesis papers to determine what big companies would lend, right? We lend to them. I was told during some of that time was that even as I went through the management training program that I was overeducated. Now, how in the world you get overeducated? I was told that. Because what I was doing, I was fighting for more training.
Okay.
I was fighting for more advanced commercial training, which cost the company money.
Wow.
So I didn't care. I found out that Friday was a good day for the president to be happy, so I would go ahead and get him to sign my documents on a Friday so I can go to the next class.
Wow.
All right?
Wow.
Meaning you go out, those times you go to nice hotels and you actually get trained. That was one. Being told that I was overeducated. The second one is that being the first that were being promoted in certain areas, and even at my graduation, or I say graduation on the job training management training program, they never told me I was number one in the program. Now I was the only black in there, and they never told me. I didn't find out I was number one into the program until they was promoting me to come to, let's say, Polk County, to be the first, the most person. Our bank was in trouble, so it was like, if you want somebody to run this division, it's gonna be Connor at the time. I wasn't married, so then I found I was number one. I didn't know I was number one. No.
So they kept it from you.
Yeah, kept it from me. So they promoted me into that. All right. Then working for people that were my boss, that if you told them that you wanted their job, they got scared of you. So then you try to deplete me, right? Suppress me. All in turn, you got to promote me because my knowledge is what dictate the respect,
Look
right?
at
God. Not what you saying. And so they would say things like, you could have this nice office. I say, listen to me. I can work in a box. Just give me my money. Right? Pay me this money.
Give me your money, yeah.
So that I can buy my own, I can pay for what I want to pay.
Right.
Then finding out that you're not paying me, I had an opportunity where they weren't paying me, right, was due. And then when I particularly left that institution, I found out, I didn't sue them or anything, you know, that they ended up giving me bonus money because when they evaluated, they thought I was. I did never do it.
Right.
So I have if I would go to my lineage, it would take you half of the night.
Wow.
To think about what I've gone through. And also, another kicker, okay, imagine me showing up, right? Now, I told you I deal with corporate people, businesses. Right. You know what they look like, right?
Right, yeah.
I show up with some employees. Immediately, the Caucasian gentleman would think that my employee is the boss.
What's the boss, right?
So they talk over me and go to the employee.
So how you deal with that?
Just let them talk. When they finish, the employee gonna tell them, listen, you can't raise a chip on your shoulder and earn the money, right? So they say, this is my, you know, my.
She the boss.
Yeah, and so then I demand respect with knowledge. Know this, remember this. Knowledge will combat ignorance.
My Jesus. Every time.
And faith will eliminate fear.
Preach.
You got it?
Yeah.
So you ignorant.
Yeah.
My knowledge gonna dictate the respect.
Right.
I was, and this is the last story one. I'll never forget this gentleman. He was known throughout the area, and he was a cussing guy. I mean, he was like a cussing guy. I want the best you have. I told my boss, I want the best you got. So my boss came to me and he said, listen, this guy is off the chain. He says, now Trina, he said he want the best you got. I said, okay, give him to me. So I came and that man looked at me like.
Saw you?
Yeah, yeah, but check, I gained respect. So he came out and said, listen, what we not gonna do? You're not gonna use that tone you using, and you're not gonna use them words. I'm gonna help you. And true enough, I ended up gaining him.
Wow. And
really, he ended up dying, but really, to be honest with you, he would call me for any advice they would have. So those are some of the tools, that's example of what I've gone through. That's just a little slither.
All right.
But it would either make or break you. So, you know, it's made me strong.
Perfect. Now, throughout your life, you have had a lot of experiences. What has been the most memorable moment in your life?
Okay. Can I give you two?
Give me two.
The first memorable moment in my life was my marriage, okay? And being able to develop a life with a person who was, I could go thoughtless with, okay? That it was a partnership, that's one. The second most memorable moment in my life has been when Thomas transitioned and I served on Career Source Polk Board. And maybe a year or two after he transitioned, they named an award, Katrina Lunsford Workforce Award at the tune of $20,000 to people who were gaining employment that had stories in their life. And I cried then because who does that? Amen. Who actually gives something in your name for serving while you're living?
While you're living, that's the key.
While you're living.
Wow.
And to see companies say, hey, we want to keep that going year after year, to me, that's a blessing because it's all about serving, right?
Amen.
And to have a young lady that was helped to show up one Sunday with some flowers and her kids and said, I just want to thank you for what you've done. So to me,
Amen.
That's worth it all.
Amen. Well, Dr. Lunsford, as we bring this to a close, do you have any closing remarks for my listening audience?
Yes, you all that are standing in the season of where we are, don't give up. When you're dealing with your money, your finances, if you're at a point that you're really where you never used services before, just eliminate the pride and go get it. If you're at a point where you can help somebody else with money, see if you can assist somebody that you never lose. The other thing is that I want you to do not give up. Don't lose it during this season, during this time to come. Hang in there. If you need information, you got a guy here, Pastor Webb, that's always trying to do something to get that word out. I know he's accessible. Contact him. I'm sure he got resources for you.
My final question, what is the best talk show in the land?
Hey, nothing but a word with Pastor Webb.
I love it. Thank you, my sister. And to my listening audience, thank you for watching. Until I see you again, may God bless you real good.